2, 3. All right, we're live. A little bit of a delay. We're going to blame that on Phil.
Yep, it's always Phil. It's never not him.
It's never not Phil. Whenever there's a live stream here, it's Phil. But it's okay. We're live now. World Eaters, part 2. We did a review already. Not a review, but a unit tier ranking for World Eaters. But we didn't test them as much. We only got, we tried to do an early review for you guys. And now we've played them. We went to a tournament recently, last week, at X-Planet.
Yes.
Lionel ran a 4-game RTT. And Berry Bash the week before. And you got to play Diogo. I got to play against Diogo's World Eaters. He's a Team Canada member. Great player. And we changed our mind a lot of, didn't change our mind, but we changed our mind of where a few things are kind of ranked, right?
Yeah, how was your experience with World Eaters for 2 games?
They are fast, they hit hard. You have to have a lot of range, and if you get too close to them too early, which it's kind of hard not to because the way they can pre-move, and you saw what happens, they can just eat you up. Yeah,
you were playing Dark Angel, so you had to learn the hard way. I was playing Admech, so I was very safe. Yeah. Playing against Diogo, he's a very skilled player, but he knew how to play World Eaters to like a finesse. And basically, even with all the range and shooting, I still was not able to come on top. Yeah, because I came over to the table, you're playing Admech, and there's no World Eaters left. I'm like, oh, you got this. And then I look at the final score, and I'm like, wait, you lost? Yeah, like, I think it was like a 10-point difference, which is admirable, honestly, for me.
It does help that you can just literally spend points and give yourself VP. Yeah. Like, I spend blood tie points and you automatic 15 VP, so maybe that might get cut down a little bit, how easily you can do that. Because if you're going to nerf Necrons for their secondaries, blood tie, World Eaters secondaries are extremely easy. They might get a little nerf, but we'll see.
I think let's start with the tier ranking.
Yeah, let's go to the tier ranking. First off, we have a few new units. We didn't rank, so we added the War Dogs, because we saw a bunch of people doing that. And I think it's viable to rank that. Another thing we saw, I played against the drill.
Oh, the Terax Sea drill.
Yeah, played against a guy, a really good opponent. He brought the drill. It had some, what does it have? The laser cutter, then it has the Volkite, and then guys pop out of it. It's basically a transport. It has,
from what I remember, 5 basically multi-melta shots from the melta cutter, and then the Volkite, of course, you have. Transport capacity of, I believe, 12. So you got CSM coming out and just like slaughtering things.
And they can keep moving if you keep shooting them and they don't die. Yeah. They can just keep blood surging towards you, but they can't blood surge coming out of the transport. So the next turnover.
Yes.
Yeah, they can start blood surging.
What you mean is they can't blood surge if the transport is destroyed.
It's destroyed, yeah.
So that you can't do.
If you blow it up and they pop out.
Yeah, they're stuck in the water.
That's the best way to shoot them dead.
Yep, and funny enough, we'll talk about it later, but a lot of rhinos are being seen.
Oh yeah, of course. You need rhinos. What these guys, well, let's get into it. I changed my mind on him.
On Angron, eh?
On Angron. We're going to start with Angron. We had him tournament standard. Last time, and I think we jumped the gun there. He is really good. I don't think he's a tournament standard anymore.
How many Angrons did you see?
2.
Only 2?
I saw 2 Angrons.
Wow.
At the last 2 tournaments. So it's not that he's bad. It's just he has to be the warlord, and then you can't do the avocado stuff and moving everything quicker. That's a big knock because every list that we see has guys we're going to be talking about later, the 8-bound and the exalted 8-bound, and that's a really good strat where you can pre-move 2 of those units, get them up the field a little bit faster, a lot faster, 12 inches. So I don't like that for that, and as well as he's just so many points when you can just bring more rhinos and bring more guys that can blood surge into units and tie you up and basically keep you on your side of the board the entire game.
I think he's still a very strong choice.
He is, yeah. I agree. I think, where do you have him?
I think you might want to go to the other screen first, because that's on...
No, I know. I'm just thinking, where do you have him?
Honestly, he's strong. I do know that other lists do run him, but you got to dedicate that list to him. Yeah. Like, if you're taking Disciples of the Blood Angel, the Army's Renowned one, then of course he's going to be there. And when you take that detachment, your 8-bound are very strong, but you lose out on things like Berserkers. Yeah. You lose out on Chaos Spawn. I do like to see a couple of plays there. I remember at the tournament you played against the guy at the final table. He brought back Angron. He just found an objective. Oh yeah. And he forced you to come at me.
Yeah, there was nothing really I could do because I had Codex Warfare, which is a bad secondary for my list because I only had the my land speeders had heavy weapons. Everything else was the bikes, because it's not a meta Dark Angels list, but it is a pretty good list. But I had to like force him out from cover, and when he did that, of course he took out my heavy units, my units with heavy. So couldn't score Cortex Warfare anymore at that point. And yes, you can bubble wrap Angron and just keep him behind a building, and then pop him out when you need him.
Yeah. I think he's strong.
It's playable, but it's not a standard. I don't think you're going to see him in very many lists for that reason. Just because the avocado stuff is so good.
Yep, I think Avocado Rhino Man is just. We'll talk about him. He's next in line.
Yeah.
After Mr. Karn the Betrayer,
Karn.
Basically the staple of World Eaters before Angron came out.
You don't see him in a lot of lists.
No.
I don't think you're going to run him for basic. I mean, basically the way most lists are built, you're going to be bringing Avocado, and then the one that's not named, the guy on the Rhino.
Yeah.
What is he called? Just a Lord on.
He's just a Lord on a Juggernaut.
Yeah, and I think that's a better combo than bringing Karn, because what's Karn going to do for you really? It's just
Karn is
Lieutenant.
Your reroll one's Lieutenant, but you're paying a big price for him.
Yeah, and he shoots your own models in the head.
Yeah, but it's the fun of it. It's very unreliable. Like it's a 1 in 6 chance of it happening, I believe.
Yeah.
So once again, you're throwing luck in the wind right there to hurt yourself.
Yep.
We did agree that he was a very good melee blender.
He is.
But I don't think you're going to see him much.
No.
With the amount of attacks that you get from World Eaters and how strong they are, I don't think you need a Lieutenant, honestly.
Yeah, I really don't think you need him, especially with what these other guys bring here.
I might be a contrarian here, but say, World Eaters, you want to kill things, but you don't want to kill them too fast. Would that be right to say?
It depends who you're playing. I mean, depends on, yeah.
You don't want to kill them too fast. I think having Lieutenant in there might kill things a bit too fast for you with the reroll ones to wound.
Just too much power.
You just want to keep it at that right threshold where you're doing enough damage to like make your opponent last, because if you kill too fast, your opponent gets to like basically target you the rest of the time.
You got to make your morning last.
Yeah, you want to make it. You want to like drag it on for your opponent.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Make them suffer.
So do you have him a bad choice or situational? Because he's not. I mean, he's not a strong choice.
He's not a strong choice.
Situational?
Keep him situational.
He's not bad.
Lieutenant reroll is always a good thing to have, but if you want a cheap one model melee blender, you can take him.
Yeah, I agree. Now we're going into the big guys.
Rhino.
Lord.
Yeah. Invocatus,
Mr. Avocado.
You call him Avocado, I just call him the Rhino Man.
Rhino Man, he flies.
Yeah, he's a flying rhino.
His rhino flies.
His rhino grows jump packs when he's fly. Just like the little
he jumps so high he goes over things, like leaps buildings in one bound. But he's really good.
Yeah.
So besides his profile, ignores invulns as attacks, but that's not why you're taking this guy. He makes everybody move faster, and he chooses 2 units at the beginning of the game, and you can pre-move them.
Yes.
Full movement. So that is really good when you're getting 8 bound to move 9 plus 2 inches. That's a free 11-inch movement on guys that if they get into close combat, they're basically killing anything they touch. Is really strong, and that's one of the main reasons you don't want to bring Angron.
Yes.
If you're going into a tournament and you're playing against this guy, it's going to be World Eaters coming right at you, turn 1, trying to alpha strike, and that's what they do on short ends. If you're playing Dawn of War, I mean, how much ground do they got to cover? 24 inches? It's very easy to do. Plus the charge.
You're getting turn 1 charged.
Yeah, you're getting turn 1 charged by Exalted, or even the regular guys.
Yes.
A unit of 6. What do you want to say about them or him?
He's just up there. He's just up there, honestly. Like there's no contest.
Standard, yeah.
If he's able to take down Angron from taking from tournament standard to strong, he deserves that role up there. He's a very powerful character. He's more of, in my opinion, he's more of a supporty guy than an actual like fighting guy.
Yeah, he's support.
He's there to support your rest of your troops while they just march in and just mulch things.
Yeah.
Funny enough, when I played against Diogo, his 8-bound moved in, but his Invocatus basically stuck back because he failed the charge. Even though I killed like Rhino Man, their Invocatus, it really didn't affect the rest of his army because they were already in my lines just smashing me. I don't believe Invocatus gives any rerolls to hit. He's just there for the movement buffs.
He's there for the movement buffs. He's there for the pre-game movement. And he hits pretty hard himself, and he ignores invuln, so you can go and character kill somebody.
Yes.
That's basically what Diogo tried against me. We're using Diogo as an example because we both played him. We're going to bring him on the show. We were actually talking about bringing Diogo to come here, and he's going to come with Scary or one of the guys and play some live stream games, or maybe have him on the Monday night matchup. But he came to character. He wanted to kill my Talon Master, so he brought him right up. Turn 1, brought him in, failed to charge into my Talon Master. Otherwise, I don't see how that Talon Master would have survived. He didn't even have an invuln on him at the time. So I killed Avocado in the first turn.
Yeah.
Because everything basically backed up, shot him, he was dead. But it's not a big loss for him.
Yeah.
Because at that point, he had 2 units of 8-bound. I think 1 was exalted. He had other ones reinforcing them coming from behind that would reach in turn 2. There's so much surging your way that if you don't have long range fire against that, like me, all my stuff was plasma, and I killed a lot. I was like, there was so much shit coming towards me. I was like, overcharge, everything's overcharging. I ended up killing like 5 bikes because I just want to kill these things so quickly. And you can't stop it if you have short range, because if you shoot berserkers, and you don't kill them, they're surging towards you.
Yes.
And then you're really screwed because you're only in 18-inch range. They just surged 1 to 6 inches towards you. Easier movement. They're going to get into you next turn no matter what. If you're Iron Hands, you can sit back 24 inches or farther and shoot all your heavy stuff. But it doesn't work. It didn't work against the list I had. So a guy like this that makes you those 2 inches faster plus an additional pre-move is very crucial for this list. Like World Leaders list being like dominant at a tournament like this.
I'd say he's
top, yeah.
Like, focus more on the other things. True, he's very threatening.
Yeah.
But once he's done doing his delivery system, he's not as threatening as the amount of 8-bound you have.
No. Once you've delivered your load, so to speak.
You blow your load, is what you're trying to tell me.
Once you blow your load at the beginning with him, and you got your 8-bound up there, and everybody's moving up, use him as a character killer. Go kill one of their big characters, get him down to 1 wound, whatever you have to do. If he dies, he dies.
That explains why he has fly, honestly.
Exactly.
He flies over things and just charges the characters.
You can just get him over things, get him into a character, lock up a character. Like Diogo was trying to lock up my Talon Master. That would be really good strategy, because then he wouldn't be giving reroll 1s to wound, and he wouldn't be going around doing his hitting on 2s for everything. But that being said, don't. He's a support guy.
Yes.
He's more of a support. You don't need to keep him alive the entire game. He's like first 2 turns. If he dies, whatever.
Yeah. All right. On to the mini Rhino guy.
I'd just like to say one more thing. How good is he, even with that? Like 2 turns, and he's still so useful. Like one of the best units in the game.
Yeah. I honestly did not think about the character assassination until I actually saw it in play.
Yeah.
Just unless you just keep your characters away a little bit back, and then just focus on the 8-bound.
Yeah. I agree. Let's go on to the regular Avocado.
All right, we got the regular guy on a Juggernaut.
Yeah, you know what? That's the combo. You bring both of these guys. You bring him and the regular Juggernaut. He's cheaper. He's good in combat as well. And I don't know. You went against it as well. What do you think?
When I played against the list with this Juggernaut guy, he wasn't really played. He just stayed in the back because I was playing Admech at the time. I have secondaries that if you have a relic or a warlord trait and I kill you, I get victory points. Okay. So my opponent was keeping it away. Like Diogo was just like saying, okay, I'm not giving you this character. You can have every other character here.
Did you have Assassinate?
No, I had, it's a Admech special secondary where it's like I kill a model with a warlord trait, model with a relic, or I kill vehicles with 8 or more wounds and I get victory points for that.
Right.
So he decided to just keep it away.
Okay.
Which was smart. But I didn't really see it that much. I know he gives reroll 1s, so he is going to basically be the captain of your army. But aside from that, it really didn't play much.
Unless you want to bring a Demon Prince?
Yeah. Demon Prince or Angron.
Well, Demon Prince is going to be more expensive. I mean, a Demon Prince is more expensive than bringing this guy.
Yeah.
So where do you have him? Just like a captain, rerolls.
Where did we put him last time? I think we put him in situational because he felt underwhelming.
Yeah, because we liked Avocado way better, right? So we're thinking, why bring both of them? But you can bring both of them. If you're not bringing Angron, you have a lot of extra points. What's up, Anthony?
Be a little more careful with your mic. Once in a while, I think when you move it.
Oh, it's inside of your shirt. That's why. Put it like this.
Okay.
Put it like this.
Okay.
Cope.
Fixed. We are fixed and back to normal.
All right, Anthony's our tech today.
Very helpful. Thank you very much.
Apologize for the noise you're making.
We're going to give Anthony a promotion.
It's pointing downwards now. You're fired.
Can you hear me?
Just do it like this.
I am. It's like that, right?
No, it's pointing downwards. You're gonna pick up all the fat in your stomach right now that we just ate.
That better?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay.
Okay.
Give Anthony a promotion.
Promote him.
You hear that? He's wooing in the background.
He's taking Phil's job today because
Get an extra 10 cents.
he upgraded the stream. So where do you have him? Situational?
I think it was in situation last time.
Yeah, I think he's all right here. Actually, strong. Strong choice.
Convince me.
He's a good combo with the avocado boy. He's giving you rerolls. He's good in close combat. He can still buff all your units while you bring him up to be a character killer and move your army up. You can be a little more patient with him, moving him behind, screening him, and screening the model, and then bringing up your 8-bound and all your berserkers. And he's buffing them. I mean, he's just reroll ones, which is pretty good with this army, right? Or do you not want to kill people too fast? You want to make your morning last?
Okay, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that with that
It kills
catchy
faster.
tune. I'll give you that.
He's there. He's strong. I think he's better than Angron too. But no, let's not go crazy.
Let's not besmirch Angron right there.
Let's not besmirch. All right, next guy is the Demon Prince, which I didn't see any of them, but people say they like him.
He has some pretty strong combos he can do, right?
Yeah.
Like he has a lot of attacks for what it's worth.
Yep.
Even the warlord traits, I don't really know if are there any good for them. But I just know he's fast, he flies, and he does the damage that you need.
He's a torpedo.
But you already have a torpedo. You have Rhino. You have Invocatus over there.
You have Invocatus. He can be that type of guy, except he's giving rerolls and all that. Just looking here. What do you think about him?
If you're putting the Rhino guy up
flies.
there, I'd say put him up above the Rhino guy, because he can offer the same thing but better.
Oh, you mean in strong? Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you meant avocado.
No, not Invocatus. Leave him there.
Oh, we got a super chat. Stop having me make new accounts. Angron is king. Blood for the blood god. We're not gonna, you want to yell it? They want you to yell.
Blood for the blood god! Ah!
There you go. You got it. You got Justin angry.
I hope I didn't scare anybody on the chat.
You
Apologies.
scared me. I'm a
I
little
hope I
scared.
didn't blow anybody's eardrums out. I know that other channels have to be like, warning, right? Like, death warning or something like that. I'll make sure to do that next time.
We have to put an advisory now at the beginning of this video before people start watching it. Please skip. What are we at right now?
If you want to keep your eardrums, skip this part.
All right, thanks for the super chat. We appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Thank you. And yes, Angron is king. Okay, so where do we have this boy? That's if you give him wings. He only flies if you're going to spend the points to make him like 180 at that point. Are you spending 180 or just taking a Juggernaut?
He's 165 with the wings.
With the wings? Okay,
130
that's not as
base
bad as I thought.
is base, 35 points extra with the wings.
Yeah, okay.
So 165.
Compared to the regular Jug, which is like what, 140?
Let me double check for you. But he is
Juggernaut.
pretty strong, I find. The regular Juggernaut's 125 base.
Oh, that's
with
way
nothing.
more worth it. Like, and they hit pretty similar in combat, right? Like the sword's doing 3 damage. I think the Juggernaut's doing 2 damage.
But the Demon Prince is strength 8 base
Yeah.
with 7 attacks,
So he's
8
using
on
strength
charge,
9 on the
strength
charge.
9. His Hellforce sword is already strength +1, so it's already strength 9. If you get the charge off, it's strength 10.
So yeah.
So you're just cleaving through everything. It's AP -3, 3 damage flat. I don't know if anything about the Warlords, if they're any good as well. But he has a 4+ invuln in range, 5+ in melee.
We just got a super chat from Ickbard. What's up, buddy? Morty is king, and why do I moan when I wipe?
You want to say that?
And he wants you to yell it. I'm
You
not
wanna say
yelling
that?
that. No.
Okay.
You're gonna be on Reddit everywhere.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Earbud warning first.
Don't yell it too loud.
Why do I moan when I wipe?
He added the moans in. Oh my God. Okay. Thanks, Ickbard.
Thank you.
Anyways, let's get back to this guy. We're getting cringe now.
I blame Anthony.
Okay. Here?
Anthony's the cringe lord.
So you have him here, or you
I say
have
put
him
him
above
there.
him?
I say put him in the back. It's fine. Yeah.
I have him like this. Yeah. He is good. I just think the cheaper model,
options are always better.
they kind of do the same thing. They're both reroll ones
Yep.
in combat, or not in combat, at all time.
Just rule once a hit.
What if you want to, because we're going to get into some shooting stuff after, what if you want the cheaper model just to have reroll ones on some of your things that we're going to talk about later? That would probably be a better choice than a Demon Prince.
Yeah, keep it.
160. You can go with no wings and be what, 145 or 140?
That's 130.
He's 130 without wings?
165 with wings.
35 points for wings?
Yeah.
What the hell? I thought it was 25.
Well, that's pretty good.
Or jump packs are 25 at least.
Master of
Anyways,
Executions.
you're not going
I'm
to
not
take
seeing
him.
him. Just put him back where we put him before bad.
Yeah, you're just not going to use this guy. There's so many other things that move quicker, and
He's He's meant to be an assassin
he is,
character.
and you don't need him.
When you got Avocado there, you got
Yeah.
Juggernaut, you got other things like Demon Princes, you don't really need him.
Yep, there's better
Saver
things.
points.
Okay, cultists. Well, world leader equivalent jackals.
Mm-hmm.
You see them. They're good for screening. You're not gonna. I haven't seen jackal spam.
No.
I don't think it's a thing yet.
Delivery's an issue with them. They're squishy. They
They're
are
good for your
cheap,
backline.
but just use them as a screen.
Bring one unit of 10, put them on your back line, screen out,
Mm-hmm.
hold an objective that you don't want to waste, your berserkers to be back there
Yeah.
for all game doing nothing. Even, the screening aspect of 10 models compared to 5, you're not going to bring 10 berserkers to screen your back line. That's ridiculous.
Situational.
Very situational. But I'll put them above here because they're more useful than I think.
They're a cool unit in theory,
Mm-hmm.
but in a game where it's mainly objectives and your army's already super killy, you don't really need anything else extra. If they maybe had shooting, then I would say take them.
Yeah.
But if they're just melee, when you already have like berserkers and 8-bound,
Yeah.
just leave them in the backfield, one squad, that's it.
Okay. We have some comments here. Let's go into the comments here. Angron is tournament staple if you have decent opponent rush and then they know. Yeah, that's true. I agree. Angron's not like the reason we took him out of tournament staple is because when you saw a list with Angron in it, they looked a lot more killable than when you saw the world leaders list without Angron. It's just like when you look at 6 8-bound units, like with some with 6 and 3 exalted 8-bound, it looks a lot more harder to manage than that 450 or 400 point model that's gonna be sitting at the back until he can get good range on everything. But yeah, we're not saying we don't like Angron. He's just not the top anymore, in our opinion. So where do you have the berserkers?
I think there's tournament.
Tournament
You
staple.
need to take them.
Let's get to it quick. You need them. You need at least 3 rhinos. Put them in rhinos for a couple of them. Oops, almost hit something.
You moved the screen a little bit.
This
that
one.
way.
This doesn't matter. Did I?
Yeah, you
Oh,
see
shit.
it. It's like cut off.
How did that happen?
I don't know. I think you hit a button. I think you hit. Yeah,
There
you
we
go. There you go.
Figured it out.
There you go.
That's Phil's fault.
One more.
No.
Oh.
No.
There you go.
Okay, playing Nintendo over here. Yeah, you need a unit. Put some in rhinos. Deliver them as fast as possible. The rhino stuff is really good. Like you just move them up. They can't be shot at, and then they pop out and wrap things up because that's what world leaders want to do. They just want to keep you in your backfield so you can't score points. And then they get you in combat and you're going to kill them. You can't shoot them at close range because they're going to blood surge into you, wrap you up, and guess what happens when that happens?
What happens?
They come into contact and they fight first in your fight phase.
Yeah, because you charge.
They didn't charge. They blood surge into you.
Oh, they're stuck
If
in
they come
engagement
into
range. Yes.
engagement range, they fight first.
Yes, defender fights.
So you literally, they're going to
first.
pop out and you're going to shoot them, and they're just, if you don't kill them, they're going to come into you and kill you anyways. It's a really good strat.
Yep.
And so blow up rhinos. People that don't want to shoot the rhinos or ignore the rhinos, if they have units in there, shoot them right away. That's our tip to kill world eaters because they can't blood surge out of that rhino.
Yeah.
So once you blow up that rhino, they're stuck there. They're not stuck, but they can't blood surge after you start shooting at them. So you can actually start, if you have some close models there, they're not going to blood surge into you. They can't. So shoot at them as soon as they come out of that rhino when it blows up. But anything you want to add about them? Because they're staples.
My only other advice would be try to find as many debuffs as you can to hit. Make them suffer to hit, make them suffer to their wound because you're going to need it. When they hit you like a truck with all those attacks, you need it. One other thing is find ways to either kill them in combat before they can strike, such as make them fight last.
Yes.
With AdMech, I was able to have servitors there with a strat that would make that unit of berserkers fight last.
Yeah.
Even if they charged, they would still be fighting, before I get to fight. So you need to pick off models in combat before they can strike you back. I've had a whole squad of 4 servitors survive 2 turns of being stuck with berserkers simply because I was able to get the fight first and kill 1 or 2 models before they can strike. And then if you start stacking debuffs such as -1 to hit, they're hitting on 4s. They're strength 6 true, but they're wounding on 3s. And with a lack of rerolling to wound because their only lieutenant is Karn the Betrayer, they do not get as killy as you think.
Right, true. Also, but you agree, bringing some in transports and
you definitely need that. Even if the transport blows up, they're still moving very forward ahead.
Yep.
Your opponent now has to deal with berserkers that are closer. Target priority is going to have to go to that big blob of berserkers coming at you rather than exalted that are coming close to you.
And we're talking about, first of all, I played the second opponent that was playing World Eaters. He brought a drill, and it was pretty good. Like I was surprised. I saw the drill, and I'm like, really? And he brought it out. Has a bunch of shooting on it, which is better than a Rhino. Mm-hmm. Obviously more expensive. But would you go with the drill, or would you just stay? Let's bring the cheap choice in the Rhino.
I think keep the cheap choice in the Rhino, honestly.
Because I like the drill, the idea behind it, but because it has the shooting capabilities with the Volkite and the laser guns, you can take out some heavier units, but delivering them is the issue. Like I just want to get them there. How cheap can I get a transport there to them? That's what I'm thinking.
I think the debate will be: is it worth getting
points?
Shooting? Yeah, you're paying for extra shooting, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Like I think we've had this debate a few times. Like, is it really needed to have shooting in World Eaters? But we'll discuss that when we reach the tail end with all the vehicles.
That's what it is people want to bring the lists I see that have the drills. It's usually people that want more shooting in their list. But when you go to the hardcore, they just want to run up in your face armies. There's no, they don't care. There's how cheap as possible, as many units as possible, and 5-man units, right?
5-man, yes.
We're not bringing 10-man units of these guys because every time this unit goes down, it's another blood. Like if you're dying, it's points. Mm-hmm. He was shooting them off the table. He was playing against Diogo. He was killing the entire army, and every one you killed, it's blood tied points. But not only that, it's free points for him to dish out and be like, give me 5 more points.
Yeah.
At the end of the turn. So not only is he getting VP from you killing him, but he doesn't really care because he has so many of those 5-man units. They're coming at you no matter what, and they're going to lock you up. So go with 5-man units, not 10-man, because you're just not going to have as many blood surge points when you kill a 10-man unit. Okay, to the really good guys in this army, and I don't think we're going to waste time. Everybody knows any tournament staple list is going to have both of these guys, so we're just going to put them right up there. Exalted 8-bound and the regular 8-bound, I'm going to put them right after each other, and these guys are situational.
They're equal in terms of what they do.
Do you have them ahead? This is the only question. Do you have both? Do you have one of them ahead of the Berserkers, or do you have both of them ahead of the Berserkers?
They're both above Berserkers.
You think so?
Yeah. They're just way too strong.
Yeah.
I prefer, once again, 8-bound. They sure don't hit on 3s or hit on 2s, and they also don't have a 4+ invuln.
Nope.
But you have the amount of bodies there to just threaten your opponent. Once again, to your opponent's lines, you're going to have 7 attacks per model on the charge per 8-bound because you're going to give them 2 eviscerators. Mm-hmm. And they're just going to kill, they do a lot of damage, I'll be honest with that. And then they have a stratagem. If they die, they get to fight before they die, as long as they haven't fought yet. Yep. And they're just a big threat. Easy to get on the board too because they come in 1 turn earlier. Yep. So turn 1, if you really need it, they pop up.
Yeah.
I think that's way more of a threat than the Exalted 8-bound. Sure, they hit harder, but you get less attacks. You also lose core, so you lose rerolls or any other stratagems that might benefit them.
Yep.
And you're just relying on, can I hit this, can I wound this, and hit hard. Mm-hmm. That's why I prefer 8-bound.
The regular 8-bound. And you can have bigger units, obviously, because the Exalted are only 3-man units. But hitting on 2s, they can deep strike too. The regular, so Exalted 8-bound can deep strike. They can't deep strike, but like you said, it kind of makes up for that with the early coming in from reserve. So you can come in and turn 1, essentially, and treat it like it's turn 2. And then turn 2, you can treat it as it's turn 3. That's pretty damn good in itself. Like you don't need deep strike at that point. You need both. Yeah. Max out both. Would you max out both for a competitive list?
I take 5-6-man squads for 8-bound. Because one thing is
what?
For regular 8-bound, I'll take 6-man squads.
Like how many? Like 3? Like you would max it out?
Yeah, max it out because
so
8-bound regular 8-bound are 6 models total, right, for the max. So that's why I'm taking a full mana 6.
Okay.
Funny enough, it's blast. You have more bodies, but also blast comes in. So you want to kill my guys faster? Sure, it's okay.
Yeah, kill me.
So I get more blood type point. It works both ways. Okay.
Give me points, please.
World Eaters work both ways for your opponent.
You can't if you're playing World Eaters, you can't be one of those like players that don't want to lose models and you like hiding everything, like Eldar players like me, you don't play this list like that. You need to be right up in their face. Don't worry about losing. Be super aggressive. This is for a very super aggressive type of players. If you're not and you play them differently, please let us know. Post your list. I would love to see a different style of World Eaters lists because I'm only seeing these super aggressive run at you lists. But they're fun. So yeah, I agree with you. They're both up there.
Yes.
Exalted do a different thing. They're more elite. They have a better chance. They're more tanky. They have their invuln save. But they are more. Are they more expensive per model? I think it's like very minimal amount of points.
I think if it's anything, it's gonna be like 5 points. But
and they hit
I
on
can double
twos.
check.
And they hit on twos. That's another thing. You don't like giving, and I like giving the leader the two. So they do 3 damage. What is it? What are they? Eviscerators or
The 2 damage?
is it
Or the 3 damage?
3 damage? It turns into 3 damage.
Basically chain fists.
The 2
is what they
chain
have.
fists. Yeah. So you give that to your leader, and then he's doing 3 damage a pop, hitting on 2s, 4 attacks, +1 for Khorne. That's crazy.
So regular 8-bound are 40 points. It's 45 points a model for an exalted 8-bound.
So you're paying for the 2 plus, and you're paying
the
for
4 plus invuln.
The 4 plus invuln, yeah, which is worth it in some ways. But again, only 3-man units. So I would say max out your exalted and max out your no. Is that too much?
No, max it out.
Max it all out.
Just max it out.
Yeah, they're too good, guys. Until they get something changed with them, just max them all out. Yeah, let's go to this guy. He's pretty good.
Have you seen any?
I haven't seen them, but it's for shooting. If you want to take a little bit of shooting, it's not a bad choice. You don't like him?
I'm more on the side of let's just get into melee.
He's cheap. He's very cheap. That's the thing. He's like 120 points, I believe.
That means less.
Or maybe less.
Less berserkers, less rhinos.
Yeah, but
Less chaff.
more shooting because these guys have no shooting at this point. You're like talking about, exalted and the 8-bound have nothing, and you have like pistols on the berserkers. So if you need a little bit of shooting, would you go with this or would you go with some of our later options that we have?
Later options.
Okay. So don't take. Bad choice or situational?
Situational.
Well,
I would not say that they're. Once again, you're saying they're cheap. You're saying that they do offer some decent shooting. It's a plasma cannon basically for I don't know how many points it is. It's very cheap for this model.
I think you can. I think one of the guns is actually free. So.
Yeah, it's free for the plasma cannon, so just keep it.
That's one question.
Yeah.
Is it not from the chat, for the audio? But what does it mean if you hear like little clicks when you're talking sometimes?
Little clicks.
Yeah.
Is something touching? Here, let me check the audio. Anthony's hearing little clicks.
I don't think so.
You hear that? Like,
Static?
you hear static? I think it just might be rubbing against my beard.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it could
Is
just
it
be
only
my
when
beard.
he's talking or when I'm talking?
Well, if it's running against
No, but is it like both of us having it happen or no?
It could be your shirt because you have it sideways like that. Here, let me just put it on.
let me clip it to your nose.
Don't do that moan thing now at this point. Okay. I think it's just poking into your shirt here. Fix it. Anthony's our audio advisor.
Yeah, he's our tech disciple right
All
now.
right, you
Our
should be
tech
good.
priest.
No more.
Much harder here.
Huh?
That one was much harder here than the other one.
Okay. We good? All right, back to the list. What we're talking about, Terminators. There's a lot of people that got salty that we like them so much.
They're down there now. I've seen many comments, not just on our chat section, but other places, that Terminators are too expensive for what they do.
Yeah. So you're right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You want to go ahead?
No, say what you were saying.
Okay, so 8-bound basically take their role. Terminators are basically I think 32 points a model still.
Yeah.
For 7 more points, you get 8-bound, who can come in from reserve, also have a lot of attacks. True Terminators have a 2-up save and a 5+ invuln, and you can also just give them like dual melee weapons. But they're very slow, and they do need to take some setup to like come on site to just like nuke things. I don't really think they're that good. Even with the storm, like that's the thing. Even if they have given combi bolters, it's like extra shooting. Oh, now your opponent is taking models away from you to charge into them. What's the point then?
Yeah, I get it. And also, they listen. They can in close combat. You can give these guys a ton of attacks, like ridiculous amount of attacks in close combat. But again, do you want to pay the points when you can just get 8-bound? They're faster. They move way faster. They deep strike, but you can do the same thing with 8-bound. And they hit harder.
And you take smaller units, meaning you can fit them better. Do you really need like a 10-man brick to do the same job a 6-man brick of Exalted can do?
Yeah,
or,
true.
sorry, not Exalted, of regular 8-bound can do.
Regular 8-bound. Yeah, I agree.
I think they're a bad choice, honestly.
Bad? You have them down to bad.
Do you need them, really?
You don't, but I don't think they're a bad choice. You can probably make them work. I don't think they're bad.
True. Someone's asking, like, who shoots the target they are charging? That's true. But that's the thing, though. If you're coming from reserve, you're 9 inches away, and you have 12-inch bolters, right? You need to get, like, rapid fire. Oh, but they are Terminator, so they might get full shots, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I still wouldn't take the bolters. I would just take the melee weapons, just like
melee.
beat things up.
If I'm taking these guys, they're not for shooting, they're for melee, but it's the point value trade-off that's not worth it.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting multiple damage anyways, you're getting 1 damage. Yes, they have a shitload of attacks, but it's not worth it.
You need a 10-man blob to be effective.
You need a 10-man blob to be effective.
Which means you lose...
Or to do what they do, do what the Exalted
which you lose blood tide points on.
Yep.
They're also tanky, which is a good thing, but also means that you don't get blood tide as fast.
Exactly, you're not going to die
Because now you
as
just
much.
have a big brick of 10 dudes charging things and beating them up. You get blood tide for sure from killing your opponent, but how about letting that unit die so you get more blood tide points?
What about armies like Deathwing that are not even going to kill you? They're just going to sit in the middle and be like, come kill me. Don't you want this? Like, I don't know.
Can I just ask my opponent, can I not fight in the fight phase and you just kill me?
Okay, so we've changed our mind. We've brought these guys from good and down to bad because now we went from theory crafting and playing a few games against each other to like actually playing hardcore lists and seeing what we do with them. And yeah, we changed our mind on them for sure. For people that were telling us that, you're absolutely right. And remember, we play a lot of armies here.
Yeah.
So we try to get the scoop on all of them, basically. We play every single army, and we try to get the scoop on everybody here. World Leaders are new. So we were trying to theory craft how Terminators can be effective with like 72 attacks or something ridiculous that we reached, or 80 attacks. But no, they're not worth the points. When it comes down to it, don't spend the points. Go for your Exalted, go for your regular 8-bound. These guys are tournament standards, apparently.
Yes. I told you.
I know they are. We had them really high last time. The reason why you want to bring them is blood type points.
Yep.
Free. And they heal straight up. If you don't kill them in one turn, they heal straight up. So people are going to try to shoot them down and give you a free blood type point.
You legit just keep the...
Bring 3 of them.
They're king of world leaders because they're just meant to die for blood tide points.
Exactly. They're blood for the blood god.
There's nothing else to say. They do have a pretty interesting profile. They have like strength 5 or something and like a decent amount of attacks.
Yep.
You don't have to roll for the number of attacks anymore, I think, do you?
No.
So
you do.
Oh, you do?
You roll for the profile, so it might be like you get 3, like I think one of the profiles is you get, D3 attacks instead of D2, 2D3, you get 3D3.
Yep.
And then there's another one that gives you +1 rend or damage. You got to check it.
But regardless,
that's not why you're bringing them.
You just take them just to die.
You take them to die. You can throw them into a unit that's coming up towards you, slow them down, make them have to leave combat or try to kill your spawn. Mm-hmm. But they're there for 3 blood type points, free points. That's it. Anything else?
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, space tank.
The space tank. This is the Land Raider.
Yes.
What do you think?
Bad choice?
That's Phil. Filipino. Oh, Filipino. What do you say? Ouch, that mic. What about the mic? Be specific. I don't know what that means. I can't fix it if you don't tell me.
Tech support, Anthony. What's wrong?
I heard slight popping, but it's scratching probably. I don't know.
I think it's your shirt.
What?
I think it's your shirt there. It's just kind of lapping on your shirt. Just stay like that. Don't move for the rest of the shirt. The rest of the...
Okay. I will be like this.
Only when you scream blood for the blood god. Okay, Land Raider, where do you have them?
Bad choice?
Too expensive. Too expensive. Don't take. Right?
Yeah, leave it there.
Are you going to use that as a transport?
No.
Hell no. You don't have to stand like that. I'm just kidding.
I'm going to stay like this now.
I think it is your shirt rubbing it though.
I'm staying like this.
Let us know if you hear the pop again.
Forge World options.
No, we do have a few Forge World options. At the end here, you'll see it. We don't want to go crazy with all the options, but like the drill and everything, but these are some of the ones we like. Predators, both of them. Would you go with this for shooting, or would you stick with some of the other stuff we have at the bottom?
I'm going with the whole point, as I said before, even the previous one. I don't like to have ranged in this list. I want something that's easy, that does damage up in front of you, and that will die easily, so I can get blood tide points. Keeping them back in the lines to shoot my opponent is nice, but if they can't shoot my tanks and kill them, then I'm losing blood tide points, which goes towards secondaries, which goes towards giving my guys buffs.
Yeah.
It does speed things up, but would you rather speed things up with your guys in front, getting killed and killing at the same time, or just wasting points on artillery, is what I'd say.
I agree. I have them both don't take because you're spending points on something that's not going to be that killy. I mean, you're going to have a little bit of anti-tank, but there's better things that are anti-tank for you, and we'll get to them in a second. Like this guy.
That is
the Defiler.
Defiler, that's what it's called.
Defi. He's not honestly, he should, technically he has some pretty good guns. You're not going to see him in lists, but I want to put him here, but I kind of want to put him in bad choice. What do you think?
He has a cool little battle cannon, and I know his melee profile is pretty neat.
He's good in close combat, yeah.
And you can move him up to do things.
I think situational is all right for him.
Keep him there.
I don't think you're going to bring, like I said, I don't think you're going to see any of these, but we still have to rank them. Mauler Fiend, Forge Fiend?
Situational. I put him situational last time, even though you guys were telling me they're bad. He's a melee robot dude.
I know, but you're going to spend you were just talking about spending points on, you don't want to spend points on a Predator, you're going to spend it on him?
But this guy is up in your face and being a threat to you, and he's going to die no matter what.
How fast is he? Let me see how fast he is, then I'll put him in situational.
I bet he's 10 inches, right?
That's not fast
12 inches, 10 inches? Mauler Fiend, right? Mm-hmm. He is 10 inches.
That's not fast.
But he also ignores all movement penalties, I believe. Oh. Yes, any modifiers to the charge rolls is ignored. Not movement, but charge.
Only charge. I don't know, you really want him in situational?
No. keep him where
the baddies are?
Yeah, you don't need this thing when you have 8 bound.
You don't need either of these.
When you have 8 bound and exalted 8 bound and berserkers, keep them there.
I mean, you're not gonna use them because, like you said, you're gonna be swarming the board with a bunch of troops, holding objectives, OBSEC everywhere, blood surging into things. There are things you can take that are way better than this.
Yes.
And they're at the bottom of the list here. We're gonna talk about Helldrake. You're not liking flyers. Flyers are bad.
Don't take his calling. I want the Helldrake back.
Flyers are bad.
Yeah.
Flyers are really bad right now. I don't think we need to go into that. Everybody knows flyers are not good. You come in turn 2, you count as deep striking, right? You come in through deep strike. That's a turn of shooting you miss, and then you can't hold objectives. You can't score secondaries anymore. You can't use them to score, behind enemy lines or things like that, right? So
its guns are not that good anyways.
And the guns are crap.
The Flamer was nerfed. The autocannon is not that good either. I think it's 8 shots. Let me double check that. The autocannon is only 4 shots. It is so bad.
That's
3
really
shots
bad.
for the Flamer, 4 shots for the Hades autocannon, which
It's
is strength
dated.
8 minus 2 damage.
it's showing its age.
I remember in 7th edition, this thing was nasty.
Oh yeah, because they have to sell the models.
Look how the mighty have fallen.
All right, it's 2023, and we're still using rhinos.
Rhino goes up there.
Strong?
No, it's going up there.
Tournament staple?
I think it's going up there.
Really? Okay, I agree with you. I'm not going to disagree with you. I was going to put him ahead of Angron.
I see so many lists with this guy.
Yeah.
It's too easy blood type points.
Yeah.
Just make sure you don't throw everything at your opponent at once because you only get that bonus once per phase.
Yeah.
So if you have 2 rhinos, one dies, the first one dies in shooting, you get 2 blood type points. The second one, if it dies, you only get 1 blood type point.
In the same turn.
You got to ration it out and you got to plan ahead.
Is it phase or turn?
I believe it's that I'll double check for you.
Because if it dies in the shooting phase and the other one dies in the close combat combat phase,
it's at the end of each phase.
Yeah,
Any character, model, or vehicle units that are destroyed, you get an additional 1.
Okay.
So you need to plan it out
so
that
dies in close combat.
Yeah, 1 dies. sacrifices himself and gets 2 blood type points. The second one has an opportunity to even survive with 1 wound.
Yeah.
March up to your opponent and just be annoying. Let him die afterwards, in combat
or
during your turn. Just sacrifice him for the blood type points.
Yep. I agree. He's up there in tournament standard.
It's cheap as well, honestly.
Yep.
For what it's
Not
worth.
Again. Not again.
He's only...
This is the trackpad's fault.
I don't know why you got a trackpad. Get a mouse.
Get a mouse.
He's only 80 points for the, not Chimera, the Rhino. It's only 80 points.
Yeah, it's only 80 points. It's super cheap, and you get like, you get a Storm Bolter on it?
You're not going to shoot that.
Yeah, you might as well.
You don't want to shoot your opponent to make the charge longer.
Unless you're playing World Eaters, and you shoot them and they come a little closer.
Okay, that's the case. Definitely don't shoot then.
All right, let's go to the guy that costs more than Engron. Really?
I don't know where he goes. He's big, bulky, and...
A lot of people like him, but I know he's going to take up a huge chunk of your army, but you can build around him. If you build around him, would you try a list like that? He's got good guns, and he's good in close combat if you can get him there.
But I'm paying for guns I don't want. I'm paying for guns I don't want. I want to pay for melee. I want to pay for more guys to just die.
Let's ask the chat where do you think this guy goes, because we're honestly not super crazy about him. But
At most, I'd say bottom of
I say bottom of bad choice as well.
Like, he's not Land Raider disgustingly don't take.
No.
But he may be a fun option. I mean, look at him. He's a guy with a giant axe on treads.
Yeah.
And his axe does hurt if you get into combat. The only problem is he only has like 30-something wounds.
Yeah.
Obscuring does not affect him, so anybody who has true line of sight on him is just going to shoot at him.
Nail him.
Like,
and there's a lot of oh my god, all my Melta on my list. Jeez.
Anything that has line of sight of this guy is just going to blast him. And you're not going to be able to have fun. And
good luck at a tournament when you're playing Iron Hands and 3 drop pods come down with Melta in your face.
Yeah, it's like one of our friends has a Lord of War in the list. Turn 1, this guy comes in with every single bike, just kills that 600-point Lord of War.
Wait, that was 1 unit that killed him.
Yeah,
one unit of 10.
1 unit of 10 just killed the Lord of War.
With a lot of buffs on them.
At that point, it's like, just don't bother.
Yeah, we're not a fan of him. Let's say bad choice, bottom of bad. Just so expensive, too. It's like, what is he, 500 and something points, 600 points?
That's the thing. You're paying too much
not for this army.
That. I mean, even if it dies, you only get 3 blood type point, I think. Because he's Titanic, he's a vehicle monster, and 1 thing dies.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you pay 600 points, you get 3 blood type points or something.
Hey, I'm half of the way bringing back Engron. He's too expensive and hard to move with terrain. You can't just go through ruins. You can easily screen him, so you can make sure this thing doesn't move anywhere. And like you just said, you can easily target him with one of your big hitting units, and he's gone in the first or second turn. I'm not a huge fan of him.
I do see someone says put it in situational bottom. Maybe just let us know, like in the chat, what would convince, like, be so good about this guy? Because
I'm trying to think of a list I would build with him to like it would nerf this whole. It would nerf World Eaters. If you took him, it would make what World Eaters do good, and just nerf it down. Because what they're good at is spamming all these bodies at you, getting into you close combat, wrapping you up, and destroying you in close combat. This guy is going to take 600 points away from you from doing that. That's a lot. It's too big. If he was like 400, I would say maybe you can try have him in situational strong. Even maybe try some lists with him, because he is, a boy to deal with here. He's really good in close combat.
Yeah.
Can you get him there fast enough?
No.
He's at the bottom there.
Turn 1, I'll tell you this, he'll probably be second or third bracket. His movement's going to be just nerfed. So just leave him there.
Okay, let's go into the War Dogs. We saw a bunch of lists with these. It's a good shooting option. You see a lot of armies doing this, even Space Marines, bringing the War Dogs. The Carnivore and the, what's the shooty one called? The Brigand? Brigand.
So the Carnivore is the melee one, and the Brigand is the one that's shooting.
That shoots.
The difference between the Loyalist ones and the Chaos one is...
That was execution or something. The 2 autocannons. What's what you said, Brigand?
Yeah.
It's like a Gatling gun and something else.
Those are the ones I see. Like, that's weird, but...
I had a different list.
I see the autocannons. I see the ones that do 4 damage, right?
3 damage flat.
Oh, you can make them do 4. I believe you can make them do 4. Yeah, unless I'm wrong. Somebody tell me how you make them do 4. But I've seen them do 4 damage. That's more like what you want in your backfield there. And how many points are they?
If it's going to be similar to what the Loyalist variant is, maybe around 150, 160 points.
Like I would take that over
like
anything here.
You would not take the Forge Fiend because you got the autocannons.
Hell no. Strong. I think they need a little bit of shooting. You hate shooting for this army. Understandable. I don't disagree with you, but I really think you need a little bit of firepower because it did help that guy in the back.
So yeah, tell me like how these like carnivores or brigands or whatever war dog you had helped in that game of yours with that player. And how many did he bring?
He brought 2.
2?
And he gave one of them the ability where once it does damage, it can just teleport somewhere else. Yeah, it's pretty strong.
Cool.
It's a great strat, but what they were really good at doing is if you don't, they're gonna bubble behind a building with all their stuff and wait for you to come closer to the objectives, and then you don't need Angron, but he had Angron, and they pop out and they come in to try to get you in close combat and wrap you up and do shitload of damage. These guys sit in the back and do like any anti-tank. They're gonna sit back there and just annoy your units, right? Whittle you down. You need a little bit of shooting to do that, I think. You need something to keep, especially when you're going against Iron Hands and things that are gonna sit back there and just whittle you down. How fast can you get, let's say you're playing Hammer and Anvil this way, and you're World Eaters and you gotta get to Iron Hands. You go against 3 Reapers, you're gonna get mowed down before you reach them. Easily. So you need something to like take out one of those tanks, whittle, you need some range. I think you need a few units here in the army to like help you out with that. You disagree though?
No, you have a point there.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the meta and what you're fighting against.
It depends what you're fighting against. I think if you have a couple of these, you're not going to be as killy because you're going to be losing 300 points of models that can be running up and killing in close combat. But you're going to have that extra element of I can shoot things from far away. I don't need to run up to you and kill you every little thing I see. I don't have to run up to every little thing. I can shoot something dead. I can whittle something down from far away. And like I said, if you take that strat where you can just do a few, once you do 4 damage or you do a little bit of damage, you blink away, go somewhere else, start shooting. It's good.
Okay.
I think it's strong, honestly.
I do see a couple lists with that type of model, so put it there.
I think it's strong. I'll put him like right there.
So just to put it aside though, you do need to take a separate detachment.
Yeah.
And they're an ally. I believe you can only take 1 squad of
2.
What, 2 squads?
No, 1 squad of 2.
Yeah, but it can go up to a max of 3. That's
it 3?
basically how it works. I believe that's how it works. Yeah. Because with loyalists, you can take an allied detachment of armigers. You can have a maximum, I think, like 3 or something like that.
Yep. Okay, that's pretty good. I wouldn't take 3. I would take 2 max. I don't know. I wouldn't go with 3 personally because now you're getting into the same amount of points as Angron and not worth it. What about the carnivores? They are ridiculous in close combat. It would be another great unit to have in close combat. And if you want to stick with your close combat theme, they hit really hard in close combat. And you can put them in reserve and come from reserve. So, I don't know. I think they're strong too.
You convinced me. You honestly convinced me.
You don't like the carnivores?
I know I only have experience with the loyalist variant, the armiger, I forgot the name of it, which is not that good. It comes with like a Melta Lance and a chain glaive.
Yeah.
I think this one I've always heard is much better.
Yeah, they're much better in close combat. I'm thinking, he's up there for shooting purposes. If you're going to go melee, are you going to spend the points on this guy? Does he make up his points for what he does in close combat, or would you just rather bring more, another 3? How many units could you bring of these guys? 2 for the price of him? 150?
150 versus, I think it's like 160 something for that unit. For the
carnivore?
Yeah, it's a carnivore.
So you could probably bring like a unit and a half of these guys? I don't know. What do you think?
Fun with it. Tough
situational?
Choice. The shooting one's obviously better.
The shooting one's better, 100%. I think I'd put him up here. Like that. He's still good he'd be good in close combat. You could use a unit of 2 of them to come in and pop a tank or something. And they're pretty resilient. They're not easy to kill. I don't know. It's not the current meta though, you don't think? The close combat robots?
No, you got enough close combat. But now you got the Leviathan.
You don't like the Leviathan?
You did bring up an interesting point.
Yeah.
So if you keep them with double siege, like fists or something like that,
Yep.
each of them gets +1 attack. So you get 6 attacks because you have 2 fists. You get a 7th one because you charge
Because
with
you're
your
world eaters.
world eaters.
Yeah.
And I believe there's strength 7 base times 2 with the fists.
14.
And then +1 because of your chapter tactic being world eaters. So
Yep.
your strength 15
And that doubles up.
with 7 attacks, hitting on like 3s, AP -3, 3 damage flat.
Wait, you don't double up with the strength?
No.
It
You
just
do-
adds on at the end?
You do multiplication first,
Yeah.
and then you do addition and subtraction next.
So it's a bad mess.
So you're strength 15 at that point.
Strength
Yeah.
15. Okay, so that still hurts. And you get 7 attacks. 3 straight damage?
3 straight damage.
Okay, so they're not as good as the Redemptors in close combat, but they're still pretty good. With 7 attacks, that'd be good. Would you take him for shooting with his storm cannons? It's kind of, it'd be funny.
You keep asking me these hard questions, but no, I would not take him with shooting.
That's not hard.
No shooting.
16 attacks, damage 2, AP minus,
1.
it'd be AP minus 1 because you don't get any doctrines, but 2 damage straight, could kill Marines, can do a lot of damage into bikes and things like that. You just have to get into range because what, it's 30 inch? Mm-hmm. What's the range on the storm cannon?
I think it's like 48.
Is it?
I'll need to double check.
I don't think
for
it's
you.
that far. I think it's like 36 max.
I know it's your I know it's your baby. Your Leviathans are your baby.
I love Leviathans. They're great. They're not as good as they used to be, but they're still good.
They have a 2-up save, which is very durable.
Yep. No invuln or
No invuln.
no invuln. Invuln would be nice. I think they do have. Don't they have a 5-up? Oh no, that's the Redemptor.
Leviathans.
Contemptors.
First question for you is, your storm cannons are 36 inch. Second question I saw in chat
We
is,
have a question there. Do Leviathans have core? They do not have core. That's
They do not have core.
a very unfortunate thing. They were really good with 8th edition Iron Hands because core wasn't needed. And there was no core. And you could give them reroll everything in close combat. I mean, sorry, in the shooting phase. They could reroll wounds, they could reroll hits. Now they can reroll nothing. Except if you're Iron Hands, you get to, if it's heavy, so you get to reroll ones. But anything else, no, they don't have core. What question were you looking at?
the Leviathans have core. I was going to answer that.
Oh, that's okay. I beat you. You owe me a Coke.
Because you know your Leviathans inside out.
I know my Leviathans. Yeah. So where do you put this guy? You know me. I'm gonna be.
You're very biased.
I think he goes ahead of Lord Avocado.
No, he's in like situational at best.
Situational? Yeah, I agree. I think he's like around here.
So the thing that separates
put him here.
Exalted from regular 8-bound is regular 8-bound have core. That's why I put them ahead of that.
Oh, they do have core. That's
And
right.
the fact
we didn't
that
mention that.
the Leviathan does not have core brings it down like a tier for me. Sure, they punch hard, but losing core and 7. Think about this: you have 7 attacks, but they're all hitting on 3s, and you have a degrading stat line as well.
You have a degrading stat.
True, you're winning on 2s on basically everything in the game, but rolling to hit is going to mean that a third of them are going to fail. So you're going to have like 4 or 5 that go through. Any ones you roll to wound, you could end up with like 4 1s or like 2 1s.
So bad?
I don't think it's.
Yeah, I don't think it's a great choice.
Without core, it's very difficult for me to say.
Like I said, I think in close combat you could make it pretty. It could hit pretty hard. I think it'd be more of a fun choice, not a competitive.
Do you know
choice.
what would be better in melee combat?
What?
Demon Prince with wings. For the same point cost, even cheaper,
Oh,
I think, than Leviathan.
because he gets more attacks and then he has more strength.
Yeah, but you're basically paying for less
He
to
doesn't
have
more
way
strength,
more.
But
You strength 10 with the sword. You don't need strength 15 when you have
you
strength 10.
don't. And he's hitting on 2s.
Yeah, and he has 8 attacks base.
8 attacks, hitting on 2s, +1, so 9 attacks.
Yep.
And he gets an extra attack with his claw, right?
I believe so.
He does. So he gets 10 attacks if you include the claw. That's doing 2 damage. Sword, you're taking the sword on him because there's no.
Sorry, he's 7 attacks base, becomes 8 attacks on the charge.
So it becomes 8, and then because he's scoring, that's still a lot. And then he gets a 9th attack with his claw.
Yeah.
You're not taking we've already said we're not taking the axe with him, right?
No.
Because you're going to what? Strength.
You're going to strength +2, which means your strength 10 becomes 11 on the charge.
Is it only AP -2 on the
AP
on there?
-2 on the axe.
So you're losing AP -2 and then you're becoming strength 11 instead of
Yes.
strength 10. So you're still in between there because strength 11's you're not going to be damaging anything on. You're going to because you need to get to at least strength 12 before you can start doing damage on wounding on 2s, right?
Yeah, on toughness 6
on
vehicles.
toughness 6. So there's really no point taking the axe. Take the sword every time. I think everybody knows that. 8 full attacks, hitting on 2s. You're not re-rolling, but 3 straight damage plus 2 damage with the claw. Yeah, I think he's way better.
Leviathan is a very
actually changed my mind enough to put him like that.
Yeah, Leviathan's a very expensive demon prince at that point, and not worth it.
So my World Eaters army that I'm bringing out to play, that I'm for my own, not the studio World Eaters army, my World Eaters army has a demon prince in it.
Good.
And he's fun. And he has wings, actual wings on him, not like that. What else?
I think that's it. I'm surprised this list looks a lot more diverse than we had before.
Yes, it's much more balanced.
Situational's there. You got a lot of bad choices. You got some don't takes. And it's funny enough with the tournament standard, you're basically going to spam that multiple times. Strong is there, but every single tournament standard list is just going to have tournament standard times 2 or times 3.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You need to max out those exalted.
It's a very small codex, but it just shows how strong their core of their units are. Like Invocatus is up there, Exalted 8-bound, regular 8-bound, Berserkers. Chaos Spawn, which is funny enough, usually the weakest thing in the Codex, is one of the best things in Codex.
Yeah.
And even better, the Rhino, one of the very weak things in the Codex usually, is up there in terms of standard.
Not only are you delivering your Berserkers faster, you're also getting points for it. Literally getting victory points every time those things die. And Exalted and 8-bounds, the regular 8-bound are so strong, you have to max them out.
Oh yeah, one thing about the Exalted 8-bound, on a 4+, your opponent can't fall back. That's one thing I almost forgot about.
Yeah.
It did come in play in one of my games,
Yep.
but thank goodness the unit I threw him at the 8-bound were chaff, so I didn't really care if they left combat.
Yeah. I mean, that list looks good to me. If anybody disagrees with something, please let us know in the comments. Again, this is our experience against them and playing them. The first one was a little more theory crafting and what we kind of hoped we wanted, the way we wanted the army to work. This is how it works, though.
Yeah.
This is how it really works. This is how you get it rolling. Let us know what you guys like out of here. Sorry we put the king down in strong, but Avocado Boy is just doing better right now. I think he's better for the army.
For sure.
He's more of a support guy. I think Angron's more like, you got to get him out. You got to make it's basically obviously centered around him and what he can do. And when you put him into the list, there's really no point of taking Avocado Boy at that point.
It's like with every other Legion right now. Mortarion, he's not like the staple of the army.
Yeah.
Magnus, he's also not just going to be like every single army has him.
Yeah.
Angron joins his brother in the triumvirate of everything is better than us.
Nobody takes Magnus.
There, you have my point there.
They used to when you bash brothers in 8th edition and 7th edition. But I saw a few Magnus armies actually. They don't synergize really well anymore, unfortunately. We'll see what happens when you 1,000 Suns. Somebody was asking today, should I take Pink Horrors with my 1,000 Suns? No, you should not. Go Rubric Marines.
Just all out Rubric Marines.
Yeah.
Buy the new
not do demons.
The new combat patrol or was it the boarding action? 20 Rubric Marines.
Yeah.
In a box. That's gonna be able to like max out all your Rubrics that you want.
Yeah. Also, Justin brought by. Here, bring that, Anthony. Throw that over here. Our friend Justin. Not this Justin. The real Justin.
May the real Justin please stand up.
He brought another helmet for us. We have the Salamander one in the studio. Now we got this one. We're gonna have a whole collection.
Where's the spear?
Spear's over there in the corner.
Chaos? You might as well show the spear. We got this bad boy. It looks like a pylon from behind.
Unfortunately, it doesn't fit our heads.
What we're actually going to do is put this on Phil and beat him like a piñata.
Yeah, we're going to use the spear we have here.
It's pretty good. It's pretty cool. Yeah, Justin painted this up. Now we're just like show and tell.
Yeah. We got the mighty custodian spear.
Show the blade. Stabbing me in the head in this.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Justin worked on this. Looks good.
Live, we're going to have an accident live.
Coming for you.
I don't trust you. You're a guard player.
I got the gun. I'm gonna miss.
He's gonna
You
miss.
have no aim. Okay, guys. Thanks for joining us. This is another tier ranking. We're going to be playing a live stream tomorrow. We have a Monday night matchup coming out first of the season. It's going to be Necrons versus Iron Hands. That's coming out Monday. That's being finished. And then tomorrow we're doing a live stream game. It's going to be your Custodes. You have to wear that through the whole match.
It's going to be like this.
I got four. I'm Mr. Four Eyes now.
Is it a tournament list?
Nah.
It's not a tournament.
I'm bringing Solar Watch.
A Solar Watch.
I want to see because I know what your Dark Angels are like. You're playing Dark Angels, right?
I'm bringing my Dark Angels. Yeah.
I'm basically be playing like a World Eaters player.
You're gonna sit back and wait for me to come to you?
No, I'm gonna charge right into you and just beat you to pulp.
Please don't one shot.
Okay. But anyways, tomorrow we're gonna have World Eaters, not World Eaters. We're gonna have this is World Eaters. We're gonna have Custodes versus Dark Angels. We'll be on the stream at 7:30.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us. We're Northern Knights Gaming. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next.